Growing up, I faced immense challenges with my parents, who never truly wanted me. Their dreams were shattered when they discovered my mother was pregnant during college. Despite being raised by my grandparents, I endured neglect and mistreatment from my parents. It wasn't until later in life that I discovered the truth about my biological parents, which only added to the complexity of our relationship. Despite the difficult upbringing, I found solace and purpose in crocheting, a skill passed down to me by my grandmother. With her encouragement, I turned my passion into a successful business, defying my parents' expectations. However, their attempts to sabotage my success only fueled my determination to break free from their control. Throughout my journey, I grappled with feelings of resentment and confusion towards my parents. Their constant criticism and neglect left me feeling unwanted and unloved. Despite their efforts to undermine me, I persevered, building a thriving business and securing a scholarship to my dream college. The decision to leave my parents' home at 18 was both liberating and terrifying. I faced backlash from them, including threats of legal action and emotional manipulation. Yet, with the support of my grandmother and other loved ones, I found the courage to stand up for myself and pursue my own path. Cutting ties with my parents was not easy, but it was necessary for my well-being and growth. I grappled with feelings of guilt and sadness, but ultimately, I knew it was the right decision for me. With newfound independence, I focused on building a life filled with love, purpose, and fulfillment. My journey since leaving my parents' home has been one of self-discovery and resilience. I've thrived in college, made meaningful connections, and expanded my business beyond my wildest dreams. Despite the challenges I've faced, I've learned to surround myself with supportive and uplifting people who believe in me. As for my parents, they've chosen to move away, seeking a fresh start. While I harbor no ill will towards them, I recognize the importance of prioritizing my own well-being. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned and the growth I've experienced along the way. Thank you to everyone who has supported me on this journey. Your encouragement has meant the world to me. As I continue to pursue my dreams and build a life of my own, I carry with me the lessons of resilience, courage, and self-love that have shaped my journey thus far. Once upon a time, I found myself in a challenging situation with parents who never truly wanted me. Their dreams were dashed when my mother discovered she was pregnant during college. Forced to abandon their plans for travel and adventure, they begrudgingly accepted the responsibility of parenthood, albeit with resentment. I came into this world unwanted, but fortunately, my grandparents adored me, raised by them in the absence of my parents' care. I grew up feeling like my grandparents were my true parents. My mother, in particular, showed little interest in me, often ignoring or berating me when I sought her attention. It wasn't until later in my childhood that I discovered the truth about my biological parents. My father, who had been absent for much of my early life, began to spend time with me as I grew older. I learned that my parents' relationship had been strained by the unexpected pregnancy, and my mother had resented me for it. Despite the challenges at home, I found solace in the art of crocheting, a skill passed down to me by my grandmother. Under her guidance, I developed a passion for creating unique and personalized items. What began as a hobby soon blossomed into a successful business. Much to my parents' dismay, their attempts to sabotage my business only fueled my determination to succeed. They belittled my efforts and dismissed my achievements, refusing to acknowledge the hard work I put into building my business. Despite their negativity, I persevered, finding support and encouragement from my grandmother and a few close friends. As I approached adulthood, tensions with my parents reached a breaking point. I realized that I could no longer tolerate their toxic behavior and made the difficult decision to leave home at 18. Despite their protests and threats, I knew that leaving was the only way for me to truly thrive. With the support of my grandmother and other loved ones, I embarked on a new chapter of my life. I focused on growing my business and pursuing my education, determined to create a life for myself that was free from the toxicity of my past. Along the way, I faced challenges and setbacks, but I refused to let them define me. As time passed, I found success in both my business and my studies. I thrived in college, surrounded by supportive friends and mentors who believed in me. My business flourished, thanks to the hard work and dedication I poured into it. Meanwhile, my relationship with my parents remained strained. They struggled to accept my independence and resented my success. Their attempts to control me only pushed me further away, solidifying my decision to cut ties with them for good. Despite the pain of estrangement, I found peace in knowing that I was building a life on my own terms. I surrounded myself with people who loved and supported me, creating a new family of my own choosing. And as I looked towards the future, I knew that the best was yet to come.